I'm going on the live right now.
Oh, is this a live?
Yeah, on Facebook, so go with me.
Oh, because I don't see it.
Yeah, I'm going right now.
Oh.
Yeah. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, family. Shalom, shalom to everyone. First and foremost, we give our praises, glory, power be unto the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Shalom, shalom. And shalom to all the brothers out there. Shalom to all the kings. Shalom to the brother and sister doing the work of the Most High, risking your life, right? Being attacked, being accused, you know. As we already know, this is part of the work. We're working with the Most High, right? There's a lot of going on in the world. There's a lot of going on, right? So we'll be addressing some of this issue today. Lord willing, if the Most High allow us. Shalom to everybody. And Kwam Yashala, man. Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai. Shalom, shalom to everybody. Shalom. Right. So we'll be taking a look at the word even. There's a lot of going on, man, here in Babylon the Great. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of destruction out there. So this is not the time to slumber. This is not the time to sleep. Because a lot of our people, you know, they're sleeping right now. A lot of our people. This is Babylon the Great. This is Babylon the Great. So a lot of our people, they're sleeping right now. Right? A lot of our people sleeping. Right? So many, the majority of our people are asleep, right? So we'll be addressing some of this issue so that Israel can understand the state and the time we are in right now. We are in very, very hot season. This is the hot season right now. It's not summer yet, we're in the springtime, but hey, keep in mind, man, this is going to be very hot. And this is just the beginning, right? This is just the beginning, man. This is nothing yet. For some of y'all don't believe it, you're going to see the Most High is going to show it to you. For sure, the Most High is going to reveal to a lot of you out there you don't believe. You're into your weakness. You want to continue into all your nasty, you know, the weakness that you do on a daily basis. You want to continue that. Hey, the Most High got it for you, man. And the Most High got it. The Most High got you. So keep in mind, man. Right? Because a lot of you out there, you know, you take everything for granted. Right? Shalom, shalom, right? You take everything for granted, right? Let's go right here, man. Let's start with the book of Deuteronomy, right? This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, and we're going to read from verses, I'm going to start from verses 5, right? So keep in mind, this is very, very serious right here, right? We're going to start from verses 5. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, and verse 5. He said, behold, I've taught you statutes and judgment. That's what the Most High taught Israel. The Most High never gave us Christianity. The Most High never gave us Islam. He never gave us religion, right? So we can see clearly. If you don't got your Bible, you can take a note and make sure you study, right? Make sure you study, right? Let me read it again. I'm going to read it slowly. Behold, I've taught you statutes and judgment. That's what the Most High commanded. That's what the Most High taught us. The Most High never taught us Christianity, Islam, religion, none of those things, politics, none of those things. Okay, so if you see running after those things, you're gonna lose your life, right? Because the world is gonna get more evil. There'll be more evil coming on the earth, right? There'll be more evil, right? There'll be more evil. Understand that? There'll be more evil. There'll be more evil on the earth. Okay, this is nothing yet, man. This is nothing. It's just the beginning. Let's read it. It says what? Even as the Lord, my power, Yahweh commanded me. Who commanded Moses? It's the Most High. Because a lot of you in the Christian church, you say this is Moses' law. No, the law didn't come from Moses. The law came from the Most High, Yahweh, the power. Understand that? So it's not the law of Moses. Moses did not write this law on his own. No. Okay, it came from the Most High. Let me read it. This is Moses speaking to our forefather after being delivered from where? From the land of slavery, from captivity. Okay, so let's read it again. Let me see. He said, even as the Lord, my power, Yahweh, commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. That's what the Most High said we got to do. It was not about religion. No. Religion came from man. It came from the devil. It came from Satan. It came from man, the wicked. They came up with religion. Okay, let's continue. He said, keep therefore and do them. That's what the Most High said. We got to keep the statutes and the judgment. Okay, and do them. Not just listen to them and do what we want. No, we got to keep them and do them. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom. What is our wisdom? Is the Bible, the judgment, the law, the commandment of the Most High. Wisdom is not about you go to Harvard University or you wear Easter suit and tie and you think that you didn't know. That's no wisdom. That's foolishness. If you wear suit and tie and you be happy, man, listen, man, you're on the wrong side, buddy. Okay, you wearing suit and tie, it just make you a good slave. You don't understand? That's why I quit wearing suit and tie. I'm done with that thing. Say slowly, I'm giving up all my shirt. I don't need those stuff. I don't need that's the way of my of the conquistador. That's the way of war of Esau. Okay, so I want to go back to my culture, the culture of my forefather. I want to dress up as our forefather used to dress up back in those days. That's what I'm trying to do. Not being in a suit and tie, looking like a good slave. You know, man. Serving Uncle Sam, being a coon, right? No, man. That's like old school. We're done with that thing, right? He said, keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nation, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is wise and understanding people, which we don't do. That's why this heathen, this nation, they look on us like, and they call us byword. See what I'm saying? They're changing, calling us byword. This, and that. They call us this name and this. Guess what? Still, we don't want to get it. Our people still refuse to acknowledge, the truth. They still refuse. They still resist the Holy Spirit every day, right? He said, for one nation is there so great, who are Yahweh so nigh unto them, as the Lord our Yahweh is in all things that we call upon him for. Plain and simple. He said, plain and simple. It's nothing complicated. The Most High is whatsoever we touch to do, as long as it's about righteousness, the Most High is always there with us. The Most High is always there with us. Shalom, shalom. The Most High is always there. Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, right? He's always there. Whatsoever we take to do, as long as we keep in the commandment, we're good. But if we don't keep the commandment, evil will follow us everywhere we go. Everywhere we go, there will be evil. That's what the Most High said. So who are you to go against what the Most High said? The Most High said evil is going to slay us. And you think it's a joke? A lot of you still thinking that, hey, you know what? Listen, you can do all you want. Keep in mind, the Most High is going to bring judgment. And that's what we see right now. You see the chaos coming in America. You see everything falling apart. Slowly, some of you out there, you still want to save America. You want to save America? You want to go against the Most High? Hey, do it. You do it. It's up to you. You be found, you be trust true. That's what the scripture say. So keep in mind. Right? He said, let's read verses 9. Only take heed to thyself and keep thy soul diligently, lest thou forget the thing which thine eye have seen, and lest they depart from thy heart, your mind. Right? He said, all the day of thy life, but teach them thy son and thy son and thy son. You see that? So we're going to pause right there. So the duty of every so-called black man, so-called Latino woman, so-called black woman, so-called Latino men, Native Indian men or Native Indian women, your duty is to make sure that you teaching your children, your son and your daughter, the law and the commandment of the Most High. Since the day they be born, you got to start nurturing them. You got to raise your children. So even though you die one day, unexpectedly, guess what? You ain't got to worry. Because guess what? You raise up your children according to what the Most High said. What are we seeing today in America? What are we seeing today in America? All we're seeing right now It's just death, bloodshed, evil all over the place. Right? That's what we see right now. Right? Why? Because we want to wait for the government to raise up our children. Because the so-called black men and black women, the so-called Latino men and Latino women, Native Indian men and Native Indian women, they want to wait for the government to raise up the children. They want the government to raise up the children. Not understanding that the same government is raising up demons all over the country to kill your children. Not understanding that the same government that you trust in, even though the Most High said do not trust them, you say go ahead, you trust them. The same government is raising up demons in uniform with gun to slay your children. The same children that tell you don't touch them, don't discipline your children. The same children, the same government, he turn around and give the order to people in uniform with gun, with bullet and gun, and free car, free computer, free coffee to shoot your children, to kill them on the street for having air freshener, right? For having a gun toy or whatsoever. Imagine that. And this is happening every day. And this is nothing new under the sun. We're going to prove it to you. It's nothing new. It's just that our people, this is happening. Why is this happening to the so-called blacks, Latino, and Native Indian? Why? Why is all what this is happening? Why we being the one that are losing our children? We're losing our father, our mother, our auntie, our nephew, every day still we don't get it. Why? Let's go to the book of Hosea. Let's go in the book of Hosea. This is like let's just go over there. This is the book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6. He said, my people are destroyed. So the Most High is not talking to everybody. The Most High is addressing mainly and specifically who? His chosen race, his nation, the Israelite, the so-called blacks, Latino, and Native Indian, based on your father. What did the Most High say? My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, because you don't want to keep the statute, the judgment, the law of the Most High. Let's see what the Most High say. I will also reject thee. So what happened? So you say you want to be Christian, you want to be Muslim, you want to do witchcraft, you want to be adulterer, you want to do all type of. What did the Most High say? The Most High say, okay, you don't want to keep my commandment, you want to do what I say. Listen, I reject you too. Are we above the Most High? Do we know more than the Most High? Because we went to school at George Mason, at Harvard University, because we get a PhD, because the government said this. Do we know more than the Most High? Because we got all those things in our mind. There's all those unrighteousness that we learn. Does it make us more righteous than the Most High? No. Far from that, right? But our mind is so, we feel so proud because we've been oppressed. We love oppression. That's the spirit that we have as a nation today. We love oppression. Right? We hate the law, the commandment of the Most. We hate the life. The law, the commandment of the Most. That's the life we need. That's the daily bread we all need every day. So that we don't go off. So that we don't lose our brother, our sister, our father, our mother. So that we don't lose our nation. But enough is not enough for Israel to repent, to understand that the state in which we are is not something to joke or play a game around. No. Right? Let's see, say, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. See, thou hast forgotten the law. You see that? Thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, Yahweh. I will also forget thy children. Amen. Hallelujah. And that's what's happened. And that's what's happened. So we want to talk first and foremost to all of you out there, so-called black men and black women, so-called Latino and Latino men and women, so-called Native Indian men and Native Indian women, right? According to your father. Most of you that got children, right? This is mainly unto you, right? You see, young brother, 13 years old, got put to death, right? By a man just being in a uniform, because he's just in a uniform, and they give him free gun. He just got free gun, free car, free computer, everything free. He's getting that from the taxpayer, from our taxi, from my taxi, from the tax of those that work hard every day. They give them free money. That's a free money. It's not like they're working hard. It's not like they're waking up like 3 a.m. and, driving like an hour, going to work, stocking things, and they're working hard. No, easy money. They got free car, everything free, and they just riding, driving in the city, pulling people over, making money, give you a ticket here, because they're all making money. The government set them up so they all can make money. We know how this Babylon is working. They were all set up so they can make money. However, it's the will of the Most High that this goes down this way. Why? Because our people will have wisdom. I just read it. Hosea 4:6. So lately, just this week that just ended up, right? Yesterday when the sun went down, which means the Shabbat sundown is already the first day of the week started right there. It's sundown to sundown, that make a day. So we'll take a look at some of these news. And this is to address you out there. If you're a woman and you love your children, make sure you take note of this precept we're going to go over, and make sure you're lining up as the Most High say. Make sure, okay? Make sure that you line it up as the Most High said. Otherwise, hey, you'll be too late. So that we may, let's start right here. Let's go to the book of Ephesians, right? Let's start with the book of Ephesians, right? We'll go to the Ephesians. Let's go to chapter 6. Let's start from there. Let's start with Ephesians chapter. Let's go in the so-called New Testament for Christian, right? For those that argue, right? Let's see. Why am I reading this? Why am I addressing women and men forgetting the children? Because you rely on the government, you rely on the social security, the social services, the CPS or CPA, all those garbage, weakness that you trust in to raise up your children, foster care. Listen, if you can't raise your kid, you got to stay away from sex, okay? I'm going to put it out there straight for you, okay? If you can't raise your children, as the Most High said, listen, stay away from sex, buddy. Stay away, okay? Because though you got multitude of children, you should be rejoicing in them if they are not righteous. Okay, let's just go right here. This is the book of Ephesians chapter 6, and we're going to read straight up verses 4. This is the book of Ephesians. This is unto you, women and men out there of our nation, of the so-called blacks, Latino, and Native Indian, according to your Father. This message is unto you. Ephesians 6 and verse 4. He said, and ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath. What does it mean you provoke your children to wrath? What does it mean? That means you are not raising them according to the law, the commandment of the Most High. I just read it in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 4, right? Let's go over there. This is what the Most High is talking about. It's not complicated. This brother Paul, he was just seeing this thing going on in those churches where our people were scattered, and the Most High wanted him to address it. Like I'm addressing it right now. So let's go right here. This is the book of Deuteronomy, right? Let me read it. Again, I'm going to show it to you. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4 and verse 9. Only take heed to thyself. That's what the Most High said. Only take heed. This is unto you men and women out there raising up children, or you making baby, right? The Most High is giving you baby, right? Let's see. He said, yeah. He said, only take heed to thyself and keep thy soul diligently, lest thou forget the thing which thine eyes have seen, and lest they depart from thy life, from thy heart, all the day of thy life. But teach, you see, he said, but teach them thy sons and thy sons' son. So it's a cycle. We can't end it up. We got to continue. You got to teach your children the law of the commandment of the Most High. You got to teach them to be respectful, to obey the law of the commandment of the Most High, to keep the Shabbat. You got to teach that to your children. You can't look at them because, my baby. No, man. Then you're going to raise monster. And guess what? Israel is going to kill them. Okay? Israel is going to kill them. And that's what's happened. 13 years old boy. 13 years old boy that put to death 3 or 4 days ago. Like nothing. 13 years old boy. It's not like he's like 25, 50, 40. He got put to death and came over. Northern Kingdom. Before that, we got a young brother, 20 years old, if I'm not wrong, I think it's 20 years old, for having what? What did he have on his car? I think it was one of those air freshener, changing on his mirror. and everything escalated. He got put to death. Esau put him to death like nothing. We got to understand, first and foremost, let us play our role on our side. Let's not rely on the government. Let us not rely on like Satan. No, let us raise up the children as the Most High say. Shalom, King, shalom, shalom. All praises, man. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, man. All praise, glory be unto the Most High Yahweh. Right? We got to raise up our children as the Most High say. Not wait on the government. Not wait on the foster care or social services. No, man. That's garbage right there. Okay? If you want them to raise up your children, then you're going to have monster. You're going to raise up monster. And the same government will tell you, don't discipline your children. The same government, they're going to kill your children. And that's what happened. Because the government tell you, don't discipline your children. Leave them alone. If you discipline your children, they call the 911. That's what the government set up. They call the 911. Guess what? How come the police, he grabbed a gun and killed the young brother? Because the government, the same government telling you who give these police gun, who give them the car, is the same government. It's the same government. Let's not be like, let's not play game. Let's pull it out there straight up to the point. Okay, let us not play game. The same government tell you, don't discipline your children. Don't discipline your children. Leave them alone. Let them do whatever they want to do. They can watch Nintendo game. They can play on PS all night long. Learn how to shoot out it. Ain't no big deal. Don't do that. Then the kid goes in the street and they go off a little bit, not being nurtured properly according to the laws of the commandment of the Most High. What happened? The same government take the gun and then your son is put to death. You see that? You see how it works? You see how it works? And that's the thing we're telling the brother and the sister. You cannot wait on the government to raise up your children. Don't do that. Do not do that, because it's going to destroy you. Right? Let's read it again. He said, well, and ye fathers, provoke not your children. This is the book of Ephesians 6:4. And ye father, provoke not your children to wrath. Why is he saying that? What is Paul talking about? Is Paul talking about not buying Nintendo PS5, PS20? That's self-control. No. He's talking about you. How can you bring your children to wrath? Is when you don't teach them the law, the commandment of the Most High. Because we just read in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, and verses 9 through 10. What did the Most High say? We got to teach our son. Plain and simple. You can't wait. Oh no, if the kid go to school, then the teacher tell them, you know what, if your mama did this or your papa did, call 911. And then boom, guess what? The same government turn around and put your baby to death. And how you want, it's up to you. If you want to wait on the government to raise up your children, to discipline your children, hey, you got to get ready. You got to buy the grave. Make sure you got some grave ready, because they're going to kill a lot of them. Listen, I tell you, it's about to get very nasty. The way we see this thing, this is judgment from the Most High, because we're very, very rebellious. We want to live like our enemy. We want to live the way that the heathen they live. No, we can't live like that. The Most High, he chastises us. Us as a nation, the Most High has been punishing us all this time. Why you don't want to correct and discipline your children? You got to discipline them, because when you discipline, it means you love them. Now, when you don't discipline them, that means you hate them. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Don't talk to my kid like that. Guess what? The police will kill them. There we go. How about that? The government will throw them in the jail. Once the government arrests them, would you go tell the government, don't arrest my kid? Go tell the government, don't arrest my kid. Or when the police arrest them or shoot them and put them to death, you go and tell the police, don't shoot my kid. Go tell them that. Because you're quick to run your mouth and say, oh, don't talk to my kid like that. Oh, yeah, I see it all the time. I got people talk to me. When I see the kid going up, I say, hey, listen, man, what you do is wrong. They say, oh, don't talk to my kid like that. I'm like, okay, no problem. And the next thing you notice, the kid get arrested. Hey, it's judgment from the Most High. Okay, let's read it. He said, well, but bring them up. So you got to raise them up. You got to educate them up. Okay. In the nurture and admonition of the Lord. What does it mean? Imagine that. It's plain and simple. It's not complicated. The Most High is telling us from the beginning, you got to discipline your children. How many shootings we got lately? You got kid here in Virginia. He took a gun to the school, and the next thing you realize, he got shot. He got put to death by the police. Here in Virginia, where I live, he got put to death. 19 years old. So what are you doing 19 years old? You're bringing a gun in school. A school is a place you're supposed to go and learn. But this is a place, this is a Babylon, where it's the land of confusion. Everything, oh yes, my baby, I'm going to buy you a gun for your birthday. That's foolishness. You should be buying to your children Bible. Bible. You should be buying to your children Bible, not gun. What are they going to do? Guess what? The same children you trust in, the most time move the spirit upon them, and they're going to kill you. And that's why lately, what have you been noticing? You notice that a lot of kids, they have been killing their parents. Lately, a lot. This is about to get nasty. It's about to get really, really nasty. This is nothing yet. Let's go to the book of Colossians. You know, it says, and ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. That's what the Most High says. It's not complicated. Okay. Oh, you want to wait on the school? Oh, yeah, baby, you can call 911. Oh, hey, listen, call 911 all you want. Guess what? The Most High will make sure that the same government you trust in, they kill your baby, your children. How about that? You see, that's judgment from the Most High. Because you want to, like, man, I can't even stand it. It's just too much for me. This day, I can't even stand it. It's just too much. Okay, I get so hot when I see all this. I get super hot. Let's read it. This is the book of Colossians. Because Paul, he will start saying this thing going on in these churches, this area where our people will be scattered living. So he got to address it. The Most High make sure he addressed it. Where was Paul reading from? He was reading from the book of Proverbs. He was getting it from Deuteronomy. He was reading from the book of Sirach. Oh, this is where Paul getting it from. It's nothing new that Paul came up with. Paul didn't come up with this. It was already existing from the beginning. Look, until I grow up, my father, my parents, my mom, they're with me. For little things don't even make sense. They're with me for it. And I appreciate it. In the beginning, we didn't like it, but today, I appreciate it. Big time, no joke. Because guess what? I live here by myself. All my parents, they live back in West Africa. Right? When I first moved here, I see a lot of Hamite, a lot of our people, Northern Kingdom, you got Judah, they're all into drugs, they want me to hang out, do that. Listen, if I was poor, I didn't have good education like them, guess what? Then I follow them, I may be in a jail right now. I might be in a jail right now. So the way my parents educate me, I cannot appreciate it. Though they were harsh on me, it's good. That's what Paul saying, and I'm approving. We're proving in the New Testament. Because a lot of you Christians out there, you're quick to cry, oh, this is a lot of Moses, blah, blah, blah. Listen, we're going to go in the New Testament, we're going to expose you. We're going to expose you that you hate your children, and you hate your own people, you hate your own race. You're the main reason why our children, our people being slaughtered and killed every day in this country. Why? Because you don't love your children. Because you don't love yourself. So you hate your own children. The Most I already told you in the beginning. Let's go in the book of Leviticus quick. Let me go in the book of Leviticus. Right, let's see. This is the book of Leviticus. Wait, let's go over there. Because, you can't say, let me read it. This is the book of Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 17. This is the basic of love. What is love? Love is not about when you buy flower to somebody. And when you hate somebody, it's not because the person have this car, this, and that's not hate. You hate somebody when you see the brother in the midst of sin and you don't want the brother. You don't tell him, the sister. That's what is hate. Let's see. This is the book of Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 17. It says, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. You see, you can't do that. You can't do that.